It was nothing. Um, I want to just talk about two things. You know, obviously the title, the crony and the phony, the close ally, and then the fake person. So this is something that I always find weird because if I really care about you and if I really love you, I'll chastise you. If I don't really care about you and I don't love you at all, I'm not going to say anything. And then I'm going to watch you go to your destruction. Not happily, but I'll be content with the fact that if I gave forewarning, then that's all there is to it. However, verse 1, no, yeah, verse 1 of chapter 11 of the Second Kings or Second Samuel, for those of you who have a King James Version Bible. Here we are. I love it. And later, when I break into all this, I'm going to go through a bunch of different pictures again. Um, and I just want to kind of go into like the whole mindset of like what it is that you think you're looking at and what I know that it is that you're not looking at. There's two kinds of people out there. There's people who want to help you, and there's people who want to hurt you. Um, in any case, you should be able to, well, you should want to be able to discern who they are. Some people are very good at being deceptive. Once again, the phony, and that's just a formality. That's just a happening in our existence. So that's what we have to deal with. But I wanted to read the story of Uriah the Hittite, and then I wanted to read about all the wicked deception and foolery that took place, and why I don't placate King David on any level, 0%. I I don't placate the people around King David. Uh, if any of you guys have ever heard me say, there's the one person that I probably actually hate in David's whole like cabal of cronies, it's Joab, the captain of his host. Like I absolutely I hate that guy. But that's neither here nor there. Let's read it. Verse 1, chapter 11. And it came to pass when the time of the year for the kings going out to battle had come round, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. And it came to pass toward evening that David arose off his couch and walked on the roof of the king's house and saw from the roof a woman bathing. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired about the woman. And one said, Is not this the daughter? Is this not, excuse me, is not this Bersabi, the daughter of Eliab, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her and went into her and lay with her. And she was purified from among her uncleanness and returned to her house, sanctified. Wow. Okay. And the woman conceived, and she sent and told David and said, I am with child. And David sent to Joab, saying, Send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. Stop right there. Let's go ahead and break this down. So when it says, and it came to pass when the time of the year for the kings to go out to the battle had come around. So this is when Aman or Anan, son of Nas, shaves David's servants. This is why I'm always talking about beards and stuff like that. Like it wasn't important. David went to war over people getting shaved. This is no joke. It was a gesture of kindness when this dude fathers passed, but over them shaving these dudes, they went and besieged the kingdom and killed people about it. That's neither here nor there what I'm talking about right now, because I'm going to get to that later, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about. So, bam. It says this guy gets off his couch, his castle or whatever, so high up, he's able to walk on the roof, right? And he sees a woman who's naked, right, taking a bath, as opposed to being like, okay, that's somebody's wife, right? After he hears news because he inquires. Nope, that's not enough. I have to have her for myself. And then after she gets the morning sickness, that's how she knew she was pregnant. Because I'm sure morning sickness was a common thing. It's been a common thing for forever. So that's how women knew that they were pregnant. Boom. So then what does he do? He tells Joab, dirty, dirty Joab, to send my man Urias, like the Kittite, not even the Israelite, the Kittite, to the front. Come on, send him on back, bring him on back, and send him front and center because I need to talk to him. Verse 7. And Urias arrived and went into him. And David asked him how Joab was, and how the people were, and how the war went on. And David said to Urias, go to thy house and wash thy feet, and depart from the house of the king. And a portion of meat from the king followed him. And Uriah slept at the door of the king with the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And they brought David word, saying, Uriah has not gone down to his house. And David said to Uriah, art thou not come from a journey? Why hast thou not gone down to thy house? And Uriah said to David, the ark and Israel and Judah dwell in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped, by the word encamped, one moment, in the open fields. Shall I go into my house to eat and drink and lie with my wife? How should I do this? As my soul lives, I will not do these things. And then it says, the other translation is, as my soul lives, if I do this thing. So, speaking against himself. And David said to Uriah, remain here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee go. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the day following. See, so here's what it was. Let's break that part down. Boom. So David, boom, he brings him back. He's chopping it up. They're shooting the breeze, and he's trying to be wicked. Now understand, the righteousness of this man won't allow for him to do what it is that in his heart he knows is wrong. You understand? Like, because he's probably thinking in his head, why did he call me back from the battle? But this is the problem that I'm gonna break down to y'all later about this whole Kittite thing. And it's gonna be like, you're gonna be like, oh, you're right. You're hella right. So the cronies and the phonies. So this is the problem. His crony right now, his man, not even that he knew him for a long time. Because Joab is a phony crony, okay? He's a fake crony. He's not really your homeboy. He's fake as I don't know what. But anyway, my dude Uriah says, look, man, I can't go down to my house, eat and drink, start feeling good, lay down with my chick. That wouldn't be proper. He said, Israel is out there fighting. The ark is out there. Judah's out there. He said, the cat I'm riding with, Joab, who's over me, is out there. He said, people is out there in the open field really gritting and grinding right now, so that wouldn't be proper if I came about it like a sucker. So what does he do? He says, no. What does David do, though? See, David tries to play the mind game on him, right? David says, let me see if I leave him here for another day if he won't go down to his house. But bam, that don't happen. So carrying on. Verse 13, and David called him, and he ate before him and drank, and made him drunk. And he went out in the evening to lie upon his bed with the servants of the Lord, and went not down to his house. And the morning came, and David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent him by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, station Uriah in front of the severe part of the fight, and retreat from behind him, so shall he be wounded and die. Now stop right there. Now that's the phony part right there of King David. That's a phony move. He gave the man, he gave him his death warrant. Right on. He gave him his death warrant because in his mind he was panicking. Right, as the king, I don't went and slept with this dude's wife, and as to being 100 and let my people stone me to death, what do? I play sucker butt and act like I don't know what's going on, and I send this dude out to die. I want y'all to listen to how heavy that is. He gave this man a letter, and he knew that because this dude was so faithful, he's not going to open up the letter and look, right? And then what? Exactly. Because he didn't look, he had to not worry about nothing. Had Urias went down and slept with his wife, David would have been like, ooh, good to go. He'd have been like, okay, I was there, I slept with my wife, she's pregnant around this time, they have the baby around then. Okay, yeah, that's probably my baby. See what I'm saying? He could be suspicious, but he would have known that he slept with his wife, so he couldn't really say, no, that's not my baby. So what happens now is David hands this man his death warrant. For Joab, once again, the dirtiest of the dirty. When I tell y'all that dude is so grimy, I hate that guy. Anyway, because understand how dishonorable you have to be, right? How phony you have to be, how fake of a crony you have to be to look at that letter and to know that I'm about to do some wicked ass shit right now. And excuse my language, but that's the only thing. That's how else can you explain that? Got to carry on before I get out of my character. Verse 16. And it came to pass while Joab was watching against the city that he set Urias in a place where he knew that valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab. And some of the people of the servants of David fell, and Urias the Hittite died also. And Joab sent and reported to David all the events of the war, so as to tell them to the king. And he charged the messenger, saying, when thou hast finished, report all the events of the war to the king. When thou hast finished reporting all the events of the war to the king, then it shall come to pass that the anger of the king shall arise, and he shall say to thee, why did ye draw nigh to the city to fight? Knew ye not that they would shoot from off the wall? Who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal, son of Ner? He said, who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal, the son of Ner? Did not a woman cast a piece of millstone from upon him from above the wall, and he died in Tamasi? Why did ye draw near to the wall? Then thou shalt say, thy servant Urias the Hittite is also dead. So let's go ahead and break that down. Let's break down the death scene right here real quick. So when they're talking about where valiant men were at, he put them in a death scenario. Like he put them in a spot where it's like, if you put these guys here, something bad is going to happen. And I know you guys are probably wondering, like, why is this so important? Because you need to really hear the actions of these people. They're against. They're not for. This is crony and phony all the way. Because when I break down real life, basic, regular stuff here in a second, this story will make sense. Because it's like regular life. It really is. It's like regular everyday stuff that people try to do. Dirty, grimy shit people do. Verse 22. And the messenger of Joab went to the king of Jerusalem, and he came and reported to David all that Joab told him. All the affairs of the war. And David was very angry with Joab, and said to the messenger, why did ye draw nigh to the wall to fight? Know ye not that ye would be wounded from off the wall? Who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal? Did not a woman cast upon him a piece of millstone from the wall, and he died in Tamasi? Why did ye draw near to the wall? And the messenger said to David, the men prevailed against us, and they came out to fight against us in the field, and we came upon them even to the door of the gate, and the archers shot at the servants from off the wall, and some of the king's servants died, and thy servant Urias is dead also. And David said to the messenger, thus shalt thou say to Joab, let not the matter be grievous in thine eyes, for the sword devour one way at one time, and one way at another. Strengthen strengthen thine array against the city, and destroy and strengthen him. And when it says strengthen him, there can be little doubt that the Alexandrian reading is correct instead of whatever this is. It doesn't finish it off. So it doesn't say what that is exactly. So I'll just go back and I'll read that again, and I'll try to make that make sense. One moment. And David said to the messenger, verse 25, thus shalt thou say to Joab, let not the matter be grievous in thine eyes. Don't let it bother you. For the sword devour one way at one time, and another way at another. So right now he's trying to justify the action, right? He's like, oh, this just happens now, right? Because now that Urias is dead, now he's got nothing to worry about. He feels relieved. And he tells him to get ready, strengthen himself in his array against the city, right? And when it says strengthen him, I'm not sure exactly who that is. It's kind of got me thrown for a loop right there. So, I mean, the him could be Joab himself, or I don't know. Him could even be like the host that's rocking with these guys. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Verse 26. And the wife of Urias heard that Urias, her husband, was dead, and she mourned for her husband. Wow, the treachery. And the time of the mourning expired, and David sent and took her into his house, and she became his wife, and bore him a son. But the thing that David did, but the thing which David did was evil in the eyes of the Lord. Let me stop right there and break this down. So the chick went through the fake motions, the phony. She did the phony, right? Once again, King David and Joab being cronies right now, even though Joab is a dirty, dirty dog. And playing against my man Urias. You get what I'm saying? They all conspired against him. Even his wife, bro, conspired against him. She's like, yeah, I'd rather be with the king anyway. So she mourned for him, right? Man, get out of here. Anyway, and the time of her mourning expired. So when the written law for the time of the mourning was over, David sent for her and took her into his house, right? Yeah, come live with me now. And she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing which David did was evil in the eyes of the Lord. And it's like, I'm so disgusted, you know, so disgusted. If you guys aren't let down right now, I don't know what to tell you. I'm let down by some stuff like that, you know. Stuff like that makes me real sad. I'm let down. But it is what it is. Life is what it is. Let me check y'all out. What up, everybody? What up? What up? But let me get back to the story. This is crazy. And the Lord sent Nathan, the prophet, to David, and he went to him and said to him, there were two men in one city, one rich and the other poor. And the rich man had very many flocks and herds, but the poor man had only one little ewe lamb, which he had purchased and preserved and reared. And it grew up with him, and it grew up with himself and his children in common. It ate of his bread and drank of his cup and slept in his bosom and was to him as a daughter. And the traveler came to the rich man, and he spared to take of his flocks and of his herds to dress for the traveler that came to him. And he took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that came to him. And David was greatly moved with anger against the man. And David said to Nathan, as the Lord lives, the man that did this thing shall surely die, and he shall restore the lamb sevenfold, because he was not spared. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man that has done this. Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee to be king over Israel, and I rescued thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee the house of thy Lord, and the wives of thy Lord into thy bosom. And I gave to thee the house of Israel and Judah. And if that had been little, excuse me, there's a little symbol there, or if that is little, I will give, I would have given thee yet more. Why hast thou set at naught the word of the Lord to do that which is evil in his eyes? Thou hast slain Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and thou hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword, the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall not depart from thy house forever, because thou hast set me at naught, and because thou hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Stop right there for a moment. Okay, so David, here's the little story. And let's just once again touch the story one more time. The poor man had a little ewe lamb that he raised like it was family, like it was a daughter to him, right? Right? And a traveler came to the rich man, and he spared to take of the flocks and of his herds to dress for the traveler that came to him. Listen, so he didn't want to take none of his stuff, but he goes and he took the poor man's, right? That's all the poor man had. Give me that. Is that not, once again, are you not a shedder of blood when you take from a man his work, his bread? You understand? You know, and once again, this man's connection to the lamb ewe was that of a daughter, and for some odd reason, understand these people having this conversation, this prophet and this king, both can reconcile this to be a normal activity. However, that's neither here nor there. What I'm getting at is the fact that David had the audacity to be angry and say, oh, who did that? And make sure that they give back sevenfold what they've done. That right there is amazing. And then when he gets checked, right? What does he get told? Against your house. His house is Judah. Just in case y'all didn't know, it's not just the house of it's not just the house of David. It's Judah Incorporated, because that's who David comes from. So the sword is never going to depart from his house forever, because thou hast set me at naught, has set me against you, right? Thou hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Wow. Of all the women, of all the women, of all the women, you have everything already, bro. You have everything already. And you feel like you needed to do that? This is why kings are evil in the sight of the Most High, because a king has in his mind this mentality that I can do whatever I want. And then look how he did it. He didn't choose any old regular person who he knew obviously wouldn't have been with any kind of wickedness. No, he chose a man who shed a man's blood in private, while David absolved himself from the same very crime. How crazy is that? That's wickedness. That's a phony move. That's phony. That's not crony. And understand, Uriah is he's not an Israelite, but he's a black dude. He's a black dude. He's black, okay? Mixed with Middle Earth blood or whatever. I don't care about none of that. Because it's not right. So when you talk about cronies and phonies, and you talk about what they look like, because this is what it's all coming to, is what do they look like, right? What do your friends look like? What do your foes look like? Right. Understanding these little things. However, let's just carry on back to David getting Judah cursed forever. Thus says the Lord, verse 11 of chapter 12, excuse me. Thus says the Lord, behold, I will arise, I will raise up against thee evil out of thy house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and will give them to thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing in the sight of all Israel, and before this son. And David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said to David, and the Lord has put away thy sin, thou shalt not die, only because thou have given great occasion of only because thou hast given great occasion of provocation to the enemies of the Lord by this thing. Thy son also that is born of thee shall surely die. And Nathan departed to his house, and the Lord smote the child which the wife of Uriah the Hittite bore to David, and it was ill. And David inquired of God concerning the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the ground. And the elders of his house arose and went to him, to raise him up from the ground, but he would not rise, nor did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on the seventh day that the child died. And the servants of David were afraid to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke to him, and he hearkened not to our voice. How should we tell him that the child is dead? Look, stop right there. This guy, David, wow, the phony. And look how the Most High is his crony. Look how the Most High crony David up. What did he say? And the Lord has put away thy sin. Come on, man. He's like, I'm going to hide that. Ain't nobody ever going to find out about that. That's in the dirt. But don't worry, though. Because you did this, your enemies are going to tear you up. And this baby that you just had by her, going to die. For sure. Now, David goes on this little, he goes crazy, right? I mean, I don't even understand where David in his mind even fixed himself to even think like that. Like once again, I'm not judge, jury, executioner, but I am saying what I'm saying because it's crazy. And I don't understand. And I'm trying to understand it. Um, Carrying on. Verse 19. And David understood that his servants were whispering, and David perceived that the child was dead. And David said to his servants, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead. Then David rose up from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his raiment and went into the house of God and worshiped him and went into his own house and called for bread to eat. And they set bread before him and he ate. And his servant said to him, what is this thing that thou hast done concerning the child? While it was yet living, thou didst fast and weep and watch. And when the child was dead, thou didst rise up and didst eat bread and drink. And David said, while the child yet lived, I fasted and wept. For I said, who knows if the Lord will pity me and the child live? But now it is dead. Why should I fast thus? Shall I be able to bring him back again? Shall I go to him, but he shall not return to me? Stop right there. So David, once again, in his mind, conceived that maybe if I just really fast super hard, maybe the Most High will pity me. He already pitied you, dude, and put away your sin. But that's not enough. That's not enough. The baby's got to live. How fake is that? That's not a crony move, right? his little servants. They're not fake. They're the real homies. They tried to tell bro what was up. You know, he had a semi almost honest moment. Once again, he's like, "Oh, the baby's dead. It don't matter no more. It don't matter, right?" But he was saying like maybe the Most High could actually pity me and actually show more mercy for me. It's crazy. That was his mentality. That was what he was thinking. Um, um, with that said, notice that he perceived the child was dead when he saw that they were whispering. So he didn't actually hear anything. He just could tell from the body language, and he perceived that okay, the baby's gone. So now he's eating, getting faded, and they thought he was crazy. They're like, what is wrong with this dude? He was just acting up, like once again, he did the same thing. He did the same thing he did when he was in the land of the Philistines and he was running from Saul and he was drooling all in his beard when he ran up on a gate with his king in it and all that stuff, and he thought he might get killed, so he played dumb, he played crazy. It's the same thing here, man. When we play the card of maybe if I fast and all that, I'm gonna get my way. It's wickedness, man. Anyway, verse 24. And David comforted Bersabe, his wife, and he went into her and lay with her, and she conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Solomon, and the Lord loved him. Stop. Stop right there. Through all of this, listen to the croniness of the Most High. That's how the long way he deal with you when he deals with you, right? He was like, okay, bam, Urias is gone. There's nothing right. He's not coming back, right? But he loved Solomon, though, right? It says right there he loved him. But understand, his wife or not, this is still a child of adultery. No matter how you want to slice that cake, call her his wife doesn't change the fact that he stole that woman. Okay? It does not change. It's still adultery. 20 years later and they love each other. It's still adultery, man. Verse 25. And he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet and called his name Jedidiah for the Lord's sake. Excuse me. And he sent by the name of Nathan, and he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet and called his name Jedidiah for the Lord's sake. So listen, Solomon's other name is this name. Right. That's his other name. Because that's for the Lord's sake. Thank you very much. However, let's just move forward. Verse 26. No, no, no. I don't even want to read about this guy no more. I don't want to read about this no more. I'm sick of reading about this. Because if I keep reading about it, then you'll understand how Solomon became the king. You do understand if Absalom, his brother, is Solomon's brother, the one who tried to kill David. You do understand if Absalom was successful, he would have been the king. But Absalom killed all the other people that were ahead of Solomon. Right. So no one was ahead of Solomon to take the place on the throne. Do y'all really get it? The Most High allowed this situation to play out the way he did, so that way Solomon would do what he did, which was allow the child of a whose mother is Sarira, son of Nabat, into the congregation of the Lord. The same man would overcome him and be given the same prospect of, if you do what is right in the eyes of the Lord, your house will be forever. However, here we are now in 2018, so-called, looking stupid. Cronies and Fonies, my friend. I'm gonna pull up some pictures of folks right now, right? And I'm gonna show you why it is you can only take people at the face value level of croniness or phoniness. When I say face value, it's like, understand, man, some people don't have it in them to, like, they're not ready to die. So they'll turn on you at the drop of at a moment's notice. And they don't need very much to want to turn on you. You understand? So you don't need to give them no reason to want to turn on you either. Give me one moment while I pull up these pictures. You know, let me pull up this picture right here, and then we'll work our way back. I love it. Let me go ahead and share this with you real fast. And this goes into like my sleeping with the enemy stuff on my other channel, but we're not going to get too into that. Look at this. Look at his shirt. Look at what his fucking shirt says. I need y'all to really see that shit. Black women only. Black men only. Now, if y'all ever listened to this dude's content, this nigga's a flunky at best. At best, he's a Rudy Poo. Please, a phony. But your people, who's supposed to be your people, is cronied up with this dude. Another phony. You understand? Look, man, I'm show y'all how look right here, Crony and Fonies. You understand me? Now I'm gonna show y'all the black people I wanted to show you again. Same faces you've been seeing for forever. You've been seeing them. I want you to see the face of the crony, the face of the phony, because every dude that's bearded ain't your people. You understand that? Everybody who's rocking a beard is not gonna ride for you. Everybody who's not rocking a beard is not a sucker. You understand that? You know, so you gotta really discern in the level of who's who and what's what. You know, is this person trying to do what's right by, you know, the laws of do unto no person what you don't want done to yourself? Or are they totally against all principles of etiquette? You know, that level of nature. I'm gonna pull up some a little rich dude real quick. Let me pull up a rapper real quick. And he's gonna be the object of our affection for a second. Bam, share. So this is the idea of crony and phonyhood. Look. He's supposed to be your people, right? But I want you guys to really understand this. He's supposed to be a close conciliar affiliate of black people and black people alike. But all these people are fake who were like him. And we already know they're all fake. I don't even have to go into the background of fake stuff that these dudes are all affiliated with. You see what I'm saying? But this is the problem, though, is that because he may look similar to you, accepting what he says, his behavior, his attitude, his dysfunctional, what do you call, cabal of, man, I don't know what the hell you call those dudes that roll with these dudes, man. They're not even entourages anymore. They've so far devolved from that. I don't know what to call them, but they're like these little cliques, I guess. You know, because none of these dudes really know each other. They're all, once again, they're all fake. They're all fake. You know, he's not the only one though. I'm not just gonna put a dude like him on blast. I don't know who this brother is. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna do him wrong. Here we go. Here's another one. Another famous person I got in my collection. Will Smith, real quick, right? Once again, all the black in the world. Just because this dude's donning a beard doesn't make him a hero to the folks and to the people. You understand? You know, and that's just how it goes. Is that right? I didn't say that was right. I didn't say that was kosher, but I do know that that people like him have influence. You know, and his influence is far greater than than a person like mines will ever be. You know what I mean? As far as what he can say right now and accomplish with the people, there's just no level of comparison. One second, this other picture right here, real quick. 1 second, bam, boom, bang, share. My man Michael B. Jordan, right? This is usually a guy who's, not all dragged out with a crazy freaking beard, but he still grows, a beard, but just not the full spread all the way across or whatever. Let's use somebody like him who looks more like this, right? Once again, I don't have to go into what a person does to say that they're a crony or a phony. They're either with me or they're against me. You understand that? And it's like when you have people like this who, once again, they're supposed to be the closest thing to our people. They're supposed to be cronies for us. They're supposed to be friends to us. And they're so far from it. They're so fake, you know. And this was why I want you to see, like, it's people who look like you that you need to be more worried about somebody who looks way more like you than somebody who doesn't look like you. Because when they don't look like you need to be on guard anyway until you really establish what their character content is. This is why Martin Luther King could say that, and it holds merit to a level and degree of wisdom that is really, I mean, I think is beyond what the man might have even known, or maybe beyond what he acted, because his actions don't exactly entail that. However, that's another dude I could pull up his picture that I have in here, a straight phony to me, to my heart, he was supposed to be a crony to the people. I don't blame civil rights for my direct position right now, but I do know that civil rights is a modeled thing after what's called the Lincoln Laws, right? And let me just talk about that real quick. Let me pull up a picture of Abe Lincoln real fast. A straight. What y'all think is a phony, but he's more of a crony than a lot of these dudes are. And the reason why is because at least he played the part all the way. People are like, oh, he's racist. Dude, he was like a quarter black, a third black or something like that in the 1800s, trying to pass as white. There's no room for acting like a black person. There's no none of that. There's no room for any of that. And it's like for people to really be in their emotions. Like this person is really supposed to like put their ass on the line. It's I don't know. It's just it's beyond anything that I've ever conceived in my mind. But give me 1 second, man. While I look for it, and let's just talk about my man Fred Douglass real quick. Let me pull up his picture real quick, man. While I'm going through all my feelings and spilling them all to you. Look at this man. Now they'll tell you that he's a mulatto. It's mixed. Whoa. I read a biography on Frederick Douglass when I was a young boy, just like I read on Abraham Lincoln when I was a young boy. And I'm not gonna go into this dude being taught to read by the lady of the house, right? I want y'all to really think about this for a second. They're gonna tell you that he was the slave owner's son. Yet the slave owner got sad that his own son, or angry that his own son learned how to read. Man, get out of here. It just sounds so ridiculous. You understand? I don't know how to feel about abolitionists. I feel like they're phonies because I feel like black people are still supposed to be slaves right now. That's my own personal opinion. That's neither here nor there, though. And it's not a choice. It's not. It's you already. If you think you were Israelite or any of that kind of nonsense, your people already sold you out thousands of years ago. If you true Aboriginal, your people either sold out or didn't band together. Once again, that's a choice. Chose that. The people who put people on boats for the white man and it was black skin themselves, they chose to do that. I have no sympathy or compassion for them. And I refuse to. And ain't nobody gonna make me. One moment while I look for Abe, because I don't know why he don't. Is this right here? Did I just pass him up? I think I'm on 1 second. When you have thousands of pictures, sometimes you don't always remember the folder. You think you got the folder. However, I'm not worried about that. What I'm talking about is people who look like you, who you think are supposed to be doing right by you, or people who don't look like you, who do right by you. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. You know, like it's I don't know how to take it. You know, like, I mean, like, what do you do when let me pull this dude right here real quick. I know you guys know who this guy is. 1 second. Little famous dude. And he's always talking about he's an Israelite. Brandon T. Jackson. This dude. 1 second, man. And it's just I don't know how to feel about it, you know, because these dudes are fake, you know. This brother right here. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether or not he grows anything underneath his neck that actually constitutes for a beard is beyond me. But you got dudes like this who are running around who are like, they're Israelites. Now, what's crazy is that, once again, for a person who actually might really truly be an Israelite or might be more Israelite than this guy is, he might just be watered down. Because I get it. It happens. I understand that, y'all. Y'all really need to understand that. I get that. But they're normally called the stranger once they get so watered down. They're no longer even Israelitish. They're just the stranger. That's neither here nor there. That's just something for you to think about. Um, um, but with that said, though, you got dudes like this brother right here who, for the life of me, I couldn't tell you why he wants to crony up on some level with having faith. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, we know that you're associated with wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you let these people cast you in a movie called Tropic Thunder where you play the low down faggot. Man, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, and to not rebuke a role like that, you know what I'm talking about? You let these people cast you in a movie where you play a satyr. You're not even a human, dude. You're a half man, half goat with and if it's really by the true lore, right on, you have an uncontrollable sexual desire. Come on, man. Like, that's that phony stuff. That's not crony action. That's not how cronies get it, you know. And people can say whatever, you know, but that's the truth, man. Because I would never, want you to think that uh, that you couldn't. I don't want somebody to think that they can't speak up and be like, I'm this person. This is what my people look like here, here, and here. And this is why I look like this. I can accept that. What I can't accept is a person who's supposed to be a representative. This dude's supposed to represent. You know what I'm talking about? He's not a representative, though. He don't really represent, you understand? And that's the beef. He's not really representing, you know, the cronies and the phonies. You know what I'm talking about? And these are the same dudes who will lay up with your woman, get your woman pregnant, right? You done died in a car accident or whatever, whatever. Now you're hooked to drugs and you're out the picture. You're in prison. You're out the picture. You know, the cronies and the phonies, and then people to placate their wickedness as they do it because they're so fake. You know, I don't even want to pull up pictures of dudes like Young Thug, and I'm still looking for my Abraham Lincoln picture. I don't know why it's taking me so long to come across. You know, good old that's but that's just one of those things though, y'all. Where like really, really, you know, I truly do feel some type of way, you know, about a lot of the things that have happened and how they've happened, you know, and the nature of them and why people just seem to overlook it like it's not nothing, you know, like, oh, like that's not what it really is. Like you have grown men, you know, who have the ability to change the narrative as they please, as they speak the words. These dudes have more than the ability just by speaking, and they don't. So it's like, what am I to believe about these people? Are they really my people? If they're if they're biologically related, they're the fakest, lowest, just straight most garbage version of us, And then if they're not my people, they were a phony to begin with, trying to be like us, and then that's the thing, you know. Uh, you got people who want to call Mexicans and all these other races just like black people. Man, look, I hate hearing that kind of stuff. Because they're not. Once again, they weren't getting water hosed and bit by dogs when black people were getting torn up. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody to try to justify standing up for, man, I'm not doing nothing for nobody that's not about to do nothing for my people. Can you dig it? You know, I don't really want their money like that. I feel guilty when people tip me. I don't know if that's I don't know what that's about. But that's just one of those things where like I'm just sharing with y'all how I feel about it. And I just feel like a lot of these cats is just, man, they're super duper fake. They're not really legitimately, who they even claim to be that they think they are on any level. And and that's scary. That's hella scary. Cause where's this picture? Oh my goodness, I can't find it. 1 second. Because here we are, 21st century, and we got all these so-called black people who are, I mean, yeah, they're dark skinned, I guess, but they all don't think alike. They don't act alike. They don't look alike. You know, they don't approach things the same. And because we're always lumped together, you know, like people get mad about the whole term black on black crime. I, I, I'm not so mad about that as it is like I'm upset that they will acknowledge another race or isolate another race and then won't isolate the black race, the black races, for what they are. Because once again, if you're from Sudan, right, and from whatever tribe, I'm not saying I should have to respect that, but if you want to share that with somebody, that should be something that they have to consider. They shouldn't just be able to overlook that and be like, well, that's nothing, because that's not how it works. Um, but the fakest people among us. Let me find this. Here we go. Let me just show y'all a picture of just of the fake, the crony and the phony, you know. And this is somebody I used to, esteem at one point in my life, years ago. But it's just like one of those things where it's like not understanding what people are really about. And look at all these dudes right here. All these dudes is probably for real, brothers, like, born here, regardless. Not only is this dude people not for real from like America, but he don't really identify no shape or way from of being like a Western Hemisphere type dude. But he wants the money from the Western Hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? He didn't mind the women from the Western Hemisphere. He hasn't minded any of the accolades from the Western Hemisphere. This dude is as fake as they get, but he plays the crony card better than most people. You know what I'm saying? And what's funny is like his father is white. He'll tell people, if you listen to his old interviews where he discusses how the man that should have been his father, I guess, because his daddy's a white guy, so the dude that was your father would have always been your father. But the man that his mother should have been laying with, so that way his mother should have never been his mother. See, she let this guy named Fard Muhammad get her pregnant, and this is the abomination baby from it. And this dude, when I was talking about he's crony phony number one, he's number one for him. And people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They can't take it. I'm gonna give it to y'all because this is what it takes right here. Being able to point out a sucker butt from a mile away. I'm not even going to get into beard formation on these gentlemen, Why Farrakhan looked like he don't really have to do none of that. I'm not even gonna get into all that. I'm just gonna talk about the fact that this dude right here has been the face of black people in many different occasions. And what does he do for black people? Nothing. He does nothing for black people. Regardless of what their regardless of their genus class, whatever, he does nothing for them. He does nothing for them, but fleece them for their money. You don't need a representative, you understand? You need somebody who can make changes. And they don't have to represent you when they're making changes, because you might just be the face of whatever the struggle is, but they are most indefinitely needed to what's the word, to put forth an effort, a tangible effort. You know, I can't stress to you enough, people will take this dude way more serious than a real brother. A real brother who is from the struggle, who has been in the struggle their whole life. This dude has never really known a day of hurt ever. He's never known that. If he try to tell, he's a liar. He's a liar. You don't get to go to a private school because people don't have money. Way back in the damn old 1930s, you know what I'm saying? He was groomed to be a prodigy from the time he was a child. You really need to read this dude's biography, you know what I'm saying? Like, and understand this. Man, this shit is deep. This dude's dad is Fard Muhammad. Why do you think they celebrate Savior's Day, which is Fard Muhammad's birthday? And they don't even talk about this dude Malcolm X ever. Think about that for a second. Come on, man. That's his father. This is why he's the face of the NOI now, because the son of the creator of it is the dude who's in charge of it now. But I don't even want to, once again, cronies and phonies. Fard Muhammad is another one of these dirty ass bastards. Straight phony. Straight phony. And for anybody to take a dude like him serious, is like, it tells me what level of like spiritual understanding a person has. You know, when I say spiritual understanding, I mean like what is corruptive to the soul and what is not corruptive to the soul. You know, certain things don't ever change, and they're going to be what they are regardless. But there's a lot of things that are not the same, that are forever in limbo. And if a person's not willing to say, you know what, that's true, that's 100, you know, we're never gonna get there. It's never gonna happen. It's not just gonna just manifest itself. I can't, man. I mean, I cannot stress it enough. Let me look for this other picture because I can't find it. Let me pull up one of this guy. You know, people always want to talk about who they think a coon is. Let me pull up a picture of another straight, the worst, the worst of black people. Damn, damn. This guy right here. His name is Morgan Freeman. You understand? He is not a good dude. Not a good dude. I don't give a damn what nobody says. I know this. Once again, like I've listened to enough of these people talk and speak, and I don't care how much money to a charity you give. Do you know how much more effective these dudes would be to be like, okay, we're gonna go and spend $10,000 in 5 different neighborhoods per city all over the US and create small self-sustaining kitchens that they sustain themselves. You know what I mean? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's better than a soup kitchen, you know. Where are those projects at? Where this dude is 80 years old, man. Where is his money at? Where to his mouth? If okay, so and once again, a straight phony. This is the type of dude to tell you that he don't think that there's no God, no none of that, no this, no. So if you don't believe in all that, dude, why aren't you looking forward to trying to keep people's lives as productive and stable as it possibly can be? You see what I'm talking about? Like, why aren't you investing everything that you've got nothing to lose at 80 years old, bro? Why aren't you putting everything that you got into places like actual black communities that are thriving then? Don't go to black communities that aren't thriving. And if he has a problem with people of a certain moral statute, then don't go to those places. But go to places where you can help. You know what I'm saying? But these are the kinds of people who have been our representative, the so-called cronies. People get mad and sad all they want to, but this is a fact. This is true. He's not our man. He's not our friend. You know what I'm saying? He is not for us. He is not for us. And people can be like, "Oh, bro, you're getting way too extreme about it." No, understand these are the kinds of people that they put in front of us to represent us on all levels. These are them. These are them. You know, I get super duper bent out of shape when people try to tell me uh, what it is that they think, that I'm doing, right or wrong or whatever. But let me hop over here and see what y'all talking about. What up? What up again, y'all? So let me just see what's going on real quick. So check this out, y'all. Am I not somebody's? Am I wrong? Okay, so there's an old dude in Seattle, right? Talk about crony and phony stuff. I feel like I'm a crony to the homeless. I'm not a phony to the homeless. And and by that means that I'm not gonna be in a drunken fit giving a homeless dude my money, right? Because I feel like he doesn't deserve nothing, right? Or I'm in a drunken fit and I feel like I don't really deserve nothing. Or my favorite, which is this one. I know it's not gonna change nothing, but here's some money. Just don't go get high with it. Like, and who are these people to tell that to somebody? You know what I mean? You're gonna do for somebody, do for somebody. I'm a crony to them, not a phony to them, because if I'm gonna give them $2, $3, $4, it's not my business to say that to you unless you say, "Man, I'm hungry. Man, I need something to eat." So if I pull like $2, $3 out, man, we'll go get something to eat. Here you go. I'm not gonna tell you, "Oh, don't spend it on drugs." I'm just gonna be like, "Well, go get something to eat with this." That's the crony movement. The phony movement is where you try to like who are you to give somebody some money and then try to watch them or try to like micro it's their money now. It's no longer in your hands. It's theirs, you know? And because we have these people who have such a poor mentality, their ego doesn't get struck by the vagrants, you know what I mean? Or as I like to call them, the street denizens. Then they want you or me to placate them, and make it seem as if what they're doing is like a high and mighty deed, but it's like it's not. It's you should be the same way you can give money to a homeless person, you should be able to give them critical advice. You understand? You know, because it's not fair that you just have to do for a person, right? And then you can't say that I'm not looking forward to you giving me anything back, but I can share with you my thoughts on why you're in your situation or what you can do to change your situation. That's not a prerequisite for this meal. That's just what I'm going to do regardless. So, or for this money, that's not a prerequisite for me to do for you. So when people have this mentality as a so-called black person, that in order to help another black person, elder or not, that you need to just give to them and then not question or not critique the situation, that right there is so childish and it's so beyond me. Because I had there's an older man. He's 70 years old. They call him Meatloaf. And Mr. Meatloaf, he he'll come by. He asks me for a hot dog, pretty much every weekend. Every weekend I pretty much give this dude a hot dog. Do I get frustrated sometimes because it's like he'll pick like a horrible time to like come up and like want something? Yeah, I get frustrated, but I still will give to this man, and I don't make it about. It's not about money. It's about respect what I'm doing. Don't go and stand in the midst of the people when you can come and ask me directly for the food. Where now you walk up to the now you're in the line, and now they're like, oh man, let me get 2 hot dogs, one for my man and one for me. And I'm like, no, you get 1 hot dog. And I now have to ask him politely to come stand over here, out the way. And it's like, because I don't like that, you know. Right. No, right. No, right. No, exactly, bro. Right, bro. I've done that kind of stuff too. I gave a dude a pair of Jordans once. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care for fancy shoes like that. Uh, I gave him a nice pair of 14s though, and he sold them. For a couple hits, whatever. But it is what it is. But no, Mr. Meatloaf, he I had to get on him because I said, look, man, I said, why do you do that? I said, no, 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 no. See, no, no, bro. You could. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Saying something about somebody and doing something to them are totally different. You're within your right as a person to judge whoever you want. Do you walk out in the street in the middle of the road when cars are coming? No, you don't. You feel me? That's a judgment. You're right to judge whoever you want to judge. You're just not right to do whatever you want to do unless you want those consequences of whatever else could happen. But I understand what you're saying. But I personally feel that you can. I personally feel that it's okay to judge. Personally, you know, But that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, bro. So that way, like you don't feel like if you got angry about it, you feel me? That's a righteous feeling. Because you did right by this dude, and he pretty much spit on the gesture. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm talking about. This is about the crony and the phony movement because they don't really get it. Either they're for you or they're against you. Either they hate you or they love you. Either they bless you or they curse you. That's it. That's it. All that other stuff is neither here nor there. You know. But I hope everybody had a blessed week. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers that are listening. Once again, y'all take it easy today. But my man Meatloaf, he had these brothers in the line who got on my look. They gonna get on my helmet because I'm on Meatloaf's helmet. But he's an OG. He's supposed to have something. He's supposed to have a little bit. He's not supposed to need he's not supposed to need these white people or no kind of black people, right, to give to him so that way he has the ability to eat and sustain himself. That's crazy. That's madness. As from person to person, I don't see how that right there really goes well. It doesn't mesh well with me. Um, um, However, this is crazy. This one brother was all on my helmet, right? Talking about, oh man, you can't talk to him like that, man. He's an elder, man. Well, I mean, he was on my helmet. And this dude wanted a veggie dog. And I'm going through a bunch of stuff. People start fighting. They're not fighting at my hot dog stand. They're fighting up the street. This dude that I know, he's trying to fight everybody all night. Behind me in the parking lot, there's people fighting. I gotta, turn around and look and make sure ain't nobody pulling guns, and you gotta constantly pay attention to the situation. So, anyway, going through all that stuff and then dealing with all that, it's actually a blessing because it turned into a blessing because this brother had to wait for this veggie dog to cook, and he seen me go through the motions with a bunch of different people. And he seen that it wasn't just he didn't just treat the OG like that. He's at everybody like that. There was a point in the night where I had to stop and I looked at everybody. I said, y'all do understand, I don't care about none of y'all enough not to hurt you, right? You know what I'm saying? I will lay you the fuck out. Or I'm looking crazy. And I love these people. But it's just like, if they think that I'm gonna let them be the death of me, no, they're tripping. They're tripping. They got it all messed up. You know what I mean? I'm not him. You had better not be him or her. Can you dig that? You don't let nobody bring you down. That's nonsense. But anyway, the cronies and the phonies. There's two kinds of crony people. See, one is the silent crony, where they don't really say much, but they do a lot. And then the other one is kind of like the flamboyant crony, you know, where they kind of let you know what they're doing. And, you know, it's not really a big deal because they are helping, you know. Then there's two kinds of phonies. And you got subgroups under each one of those, but these are the major ones. You got two kinds of phonies. The first phony, he's dangerous because he's the imposter crony, okay? That's what makes him dangerous. Because they'll do everything a crony does, but in crucial moments, they always will let you down every time. And then the other phony is they're visibly fake, but there's people who are attracted to their fakeness. So now you have to fight with possibly your own cronies to make them realize that this is a phony. Man, this shit is so crazy. So, and the reason why I come with this is because I was having a little conversation with my boy the other day who was chopping it up. And we was just talking about how black people operate and how they do things and why they don't always work together, you know, for efforts that are actually like the benefits and the circumstances work the same. They might not look the same, but they work the same for either party. And because one person thinks that another person is coming up more, now they don't want nothing to do with it. You know, that's like that's like I know people who won't do for homeless people because they feel like homeless people are getting more out of their own money than they're getting out of it. You get what I'm saying? They're like, you know, he didn't have to work for that. I had to work for that, you know. So he's getting to spend $10 tax free or whatever, you know, work free. And it's like, but bro, they're poor, they're homeless, they're depressed, they have, you know, mental depravities that don't allow them to access the best parts of themselves. Um, and we're always going to deal with this, you know. When I say all the black in the world, you know, this is the problem is that you have dudes who are, you know, the Russell Westbrooks type guys, you know, who are where I'm like, man, I'm like, well, you know, not just where did you come from, but you know, can you really prove that you're my people? Because you know, I'm hard pressed, you know. I mean, I'm super hard pressed. I don't normally call people liars or say that people ain't telling the truth if that's not the case. But you know, uh, I mean, there's so many different little things. Like I'm gonna pick up a couple of these little articles real quick, right? I don't want to get carried away doing this because this will take up way too much time. Let me pick this one right here. Bam. Let me share the screen real quick. And and dang. Oh, come on. Can't get no action. Let me Google Hangouts 1 second. So here we are. Make this a little bigger. So let's read this. Runaway from Milligan, from John Milligan of New York. On Tuesday, on last Tuesday, there we go, a Negro fellow called Jacob of middle stature, speaks both Dutch and English, had on when he went away a scarlet turncoat with hair buttons on both sides, a black waistcoat and breeches, a pair of new pumpa, and ribbed stockings, with a red striped cotton cap, an old hat, and a wig. He is a great fiddler and has a violin with him. Whoever takes up said runaway and brings him to his master, or secures him in any goal and gives notice to his master that he can have him again, shall have 40 shillings reward, and all reasonable charges paid by John Milligan. I don't understand. This is shillings. They didn't say $40, it says shillings. You understand me? Now, hold on. John Milligan. All matters of vessels are hereby forbid to carry him off, and others forbid to harbor or conceal said Negro slave, as they may accept to be sued to the utmost rigor of the law. Okay. And you're like, why is this important? Understand, a lot of these things that I'm about to be reading to you are like Negroes who could pass for like white people, right? You understand me? And I think it's actually really funny because they're the phonies and the cronies amongst the people. But black people have to recognize that what's the word I'm looking for? There have been people that have contended for you who you thought was a white man, really wasn't white. He just looked white. He was your crony, but he was really actually what on more levels your people than you'll ever know. Then you have people who look like you, who are acting against you, who you think are your brothers, who are nothing like you. Very little. They're probably less related to you than some of these other people. It's crazy. It's crazy. Black and white skin and white and black skin works in this crony thing. Is this the one? There's like two or three of them I got that are back and forth where it's like these guys can pass for white. I love it. 1 second. No. Here we go. So here we go. $100 reward. Ran away from the subscriber. Now understand the reason why the S looks different on the other one as to this, and it says shillings and not dollars, is because they were still on the empire's everything. You know what I mean? So the English Empire obviously had strong influence in the colonies when it first started. So everything is going to be written like them. The language is going to be germane to everything that they do, so on and so forth. However, these are the kinds of people who work against us today, work with us today, cronies and phonies. And this is a perfect example. Ran away from the subscriber. Listen, from the subscriber, not master. You see how they done changed the whole wording of it too to make it sound better. Living in Sumter County, Alabama, a bright mulatto man slave named Sam, calls himself Sam Pettigrew. Light sandy hair and blue eyes, ruddy complexion, very stout build, and will weigh about 180 pounds. He is so white as very easily to pass for a free white man. Come on. He carries a small memorandum book in his pocket and will pass easily for a white man unless closely examined. is a first-rate blacksmith and barber. Listen, unless he's closely examined. So unless you get all up on Klay Thompson sometimes, you can't really tell he's a white boy. You understand me? It's that kind of motion. And this is the movement. You know, what's his name? What's his name? And I wanted y'all to see this right here. You see the difference in the language and the writing already? That's 1837. And I'm not sure if it's gonna have this here, but you know it's way older because ran away from subscriber. Still, it's older because the way that it's. You see that? Do you see that? That's the you see what I'm talking about? The S is different. You know what I'm saying? Still, that word subscriber as opposed to master. And I already read I've read the word master to you in one of them already. So you see what I'm saying? They learn better as it went on. Once again, the phonies and the cronies, though. Cronies and phonies. And this is just part of us understanding that these are people who are, to them, these are still black people. Do you understand this? But these dudes are people who pass for white every day and will call you nigger right now. Right now as we speak, they have no problem leveling a racial slur, a so-called racial slur against you because they have to separate themselves from you. They have to distance themselves as much as they can. Right. They can't be seen as a crony. They have to be against you. So that makes them fake. That makes them a phony off tops, no matter what. Here we go. While I struggle to read this one too. One away from the subscriber. In Albemarle, a mulatto slave called Sandy, about 35 years of age. His stature is rather low, inclining to corpulence, and his complexion is light. He is a shoemaker by trade, in which he uses his left hand principally. Can do coarse carpenter's work and is sometimes a horse jockey. He is greatly addicted to drink, and when drunk, is insolent and disorderly. In his conversations, he swears much, and his behavior is artful and knavish. He took with him a white horse and and seared with traces, much seared with traces, of which is expected he will endeavor to dispose. He also carried his shoemaker's tools and will probably endeavor to get employment that way. Whoever conveys the said slave to me in Albemarle shall have 40 shillings reward if taken up within the country, within the county. I don't know what that four and that one means. If elsewhere within the colony, 10. So four something, I don't know what the L means. And 10 L's if anywhere in the colony. So whatever those are supposed to mean, I'm not sure what those are. I would have to go and look up old school currency. However, did you hear this whole point right here? And this goes back into the thing I talked about not too long ago, where being literate and skilled trade are not the same thing. You know, the two things fall hand in hand. You know, it didn't say nothing about these dudes being able to read or none of that. It said everything about what they could do though with their hands, their abilities. You know, that dude's a shoemaker. So it's like, who's telling on that guy? Really? You know what I mean? You know he's a runaway slave. You know he's a slave. They knew he was a slave. You get what I'm saying though? But we got a shoemaker now. We're not telling on that dude. That's the crony movement. That's not phony. That's not fake. That's not fake. That's not fake. Because these are the same kinds of people where maybe they don't tell on you because you're not a shoemaker, but maybe, okay, well, we'll put them to work here. We ain't gonna slave him out because he's just gonna run away again. There's no point in doing that. So this is one of those things. But let me see if I can't find it now. I'm just having I'm having the hardest time finding this picture. And I know once I get done doing the video or the live stream, I'll go and find it, no problem. Which is what always makes me upset. Always. Because I'm like, how can I? Here we go. Haha. Got him. I'm gonna start with the last one, Abe Lincoln. When he's oldest looking. Many people hate this guy. A lot of people hate Abe Lincoln. Rightfully so. He said some incendiary things. But I've said incendiary things, so I guess people hate me, rightfully so also. But I've never been a mixed dude trying to fit in. I know what that's like. See, I want y'all to take in these pictures. Because when I get to the last picture of him, I'll tell you, it's Abe Lincoln. I want y'all to think about. It's Abe. Well, this is an Abe who he had to been out in the sun now. He'll have to campaign amongst regular people. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying? Kentucky white trash, whatever they want to call him. Understand? Look at this dude. For the last one. Because he looked like a regular white guy to everybody, which is what I want him to look like. Damn! Let me just get up on this real quick. I want y'all to really think about this. Look at this picture. Look at it. Get to his face. Okay. That don't look like a regular white dude to me. No. And he's clearly darker in this picture than he is in all the other ones. And I'll show you real quick, just so that way you don't think I'm tripping. Damn. Damn. And again, look how you say light shading, all that shit. Look, no. He hasn't been in the sun as much. He's just darker. He's just naturally darker. This is Abe Lincoln. This is Abe. See, people think that these mixed guys are supposed to look just like them. It's like, no. There's guys who have black parents who look just like white people. So if you have a part black parent and another part black parent, you're only going to look at best part black. And then that depends on what kind of black they are. Right. But I'm going to tell you why he's a crony and not a phony. See, Abe Lincoln tried to push the brink of destruction to this country as soon as the Civil War was over. The Lincoln laws are, in effect, what civil rights are. The Lincoln laws are going to give blacks the right to vote, intermarry, a bunch of stuff. It was crazy. Why he's a crony? Because he saw firsthand what they did to what would be his race of people, the mulattoes, during the Civil War. And they firsthand fed those people to the Gatling gun to be mowed down. They let them all kill each other. So what he tried to do was recreate that same populous class of people, caste of people, and recreate the same atmosphere that we just now got back to, right? Way back in the 1860s. Right. Think about this for a moment. We're 50, almost 60 years into the actual trying to integrate people and all that stuff. Think about this for a moment. Really think about it. Think about how many more mixed race people there are now today since when civil rights first picked off till now. You can't say that there's not more. There's clearly way more, and there's only going to be more going forward. But as that happens, there's been this friction between the classes of people, right? So he's played crony because he's pushing for the end to come. Like they're not going to sit here on this little kingdom on their throne and just be sitting here kicking it. And what did he try to do? He tried to reinvigorate the same bloodline that it is that he comes from, because he knows that he's a mulatto. So what did he try to do? He tried to make it okay for people to intermarry again. Come on, think about it. So he played crony. He didn't play phony. He played crony. People are like, oh, he had slaves and he had black women. And bro, this dude's realistically, he's like part black, a third black, for real. He's a quadroon, at least a quadroon, if not a full-blown mulatto who could just pass for white. Crony to your people, not a phony, a crony. Once again, I don't know what you would have done back in the 1860s if you were mixed and could pass for white. I don't know what you would have done. But this dude did what very few people would have ever thought. This dude took office. And they put a bullet in his head. Some people will try to tell you for foreign speculation. That is the stupidest shit I ever heard, because America has been buying and selling land to foreign countries since the beginning. Since before there was America here, the Spaniards and the French have been buying and selling land here for forever. Please. They killed this dude because he tried to enact what it is that we're living through right now. Okay. So that whole tumultuous period of the civil rights and all that stuff, there wouldn't have been no need for that, because he was going to just pass the laws. Right. And then guess what? The same anger and fervor that they had for the mixed race people would have kicked up again, and there would have been another civil war already. But because they found ways to dabber down people, they find ways to toss in phonies here and there. And once again, the worst kind of phony is the one who thinks that you're the crony, trying to play crony to you, trying to play friend to you. They're not your friend. They can't be. They can't. How can they be your friend if they're playing on the side of the field where every result for you is adverse? Every one of them. How can they be your ally? Think about that. So this is my thing, because I was listening to this dude, talk smack about how he as a black man, does things or whatever. And once again, this is part of the people who they think they're cronies, but really they're fake. They're the fakest people around you. If you need the people that are dealing with you on this level to give you their dividends, you're a sucker. And you're the worst. You know what I'm saying? You're the worst. You're the worst of your people, because where you would judge a dude and call this dude Pookie or Ray Ray and call him out of his name. At least if I call you Pookie, right on, I know that they're a Pookie if I call him Pookie. Right on. I know that. I know if I call him Ray Ray, whatever ghetto ass name I want to give him today. You know what I mean? Laquan, whatever I want to call you. I know I'm right. I'm not going to call you something that you're not acting like. So if you're acting like a straight sucker, a straight phony, poop butt, that's what it is. There's no in between there. you know, and y'all need to stop trying to like dress it up for these people and just like let them know what it is. Like, man, you're not who you think you are. You know, you're not. If you guys are in somebody else's little, I let dudes know all the time when I go to the comment sections, you know, what I think about them, you know, when I feel like it. Otherwise, I just play the fly on the wall. I just listen to what they say. Because they're supposed to be the cronies to the people. They're supposed to be our people's. They're the highest echelon of our people that we know about outside of famous people. And they're not doing anything for people. And some of them collect, once again, massive dividends from folk and are doing nothing. And will tell you all about their Patreon till they're blue in the face. Shit, till you're blue in the face. Tell you all about all that kind of stuff, right? Tell you about, oh yeah, we just need to just get together. No, that's not what we need to do. What we need to do is reflect why it is that as a group we make horrible decisions, and we're not willing to at least say that these are bad decisions in any way, shape, or form. You know, uh, uh, it's the worst thing in the world to see that happen to people. You know, um, people really believe, once again, Andrew Jackson was considered a cracker. You know what that means? That means that he wasn't full white. It makes complete sense why this dude would have went all in on the Indians. It makes complete sense that his wife, even though they call her a black witch, I know she's a black Indian chick because he's probably part Indian himself. You know what I mean? But the nigger Indian, excuse my language. See, that's the difference between the fake and the real, is that I'll say what nobody else is gonna say, because if somebody don't say it, it won't get said. It won't be out there in the universe. So somebody's got to go ahead and be like, all right, I'll throw myself in the wood chipper for the sake thereof. And in the wood chipper I go. To be a friend to somebody, a close friend, a stand-up friend, is once again a person who can say to their friend when they've had too much to drink, you've had too much to drink. A fake friend is the kind of friend who lets that friend buy another shot, another round for everybody, and then they don't take the shot, they give the shot to somebody else. And then this same friend, they let this friend get in the car and drive home. Right. Those are the kinds of people I'm talking about. Not your friend. Not your friend. Your friend is the one that you either got into a fight with or almost got into a fight with because they didn't let you drive home. Because they didn't let you get in the car. That's the crony. The other one was the phony. The other one wants to hear about you on the news, crashing and killing yourself or killing somebody else. The other one wants your life to be in shambles from a DUI, DWI. You see what I'm saying? Man, anyway, that's why I get the way I get about this stuff. Because there's just too many people who get to say all these things that aren't verified by nobody. Nobody verifies it. Nobody actually takes the time to say, this is real, this is not real. This is true, this is not true. And it's just by just looking at what the information says and then looking at the environment. I don't care what somebody says about so-called facts. If the environment and the information don't line up, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. That might be true for another environment and another set of circumstances, but it's not true for a set of circumstances that apply to you, and it's not true to your environment. Therefore, it's not true. And that needs to be something that, you know, that you as a person can take and can imbue. Once again, that's about being real and fake, because you have to discern these things from people. Because, like I was telling the young man, I said, man, you know, these dudes go to the club, hug all up on chicks. You don't even know this chick, man. She's the one who's gonna set you up to get killed. and they hugging all up on her and stuff, and thinking that they in love, while she's thinking like, I can't wait till he had a couple more drinks. He's talking about he's balling, he's talking about he's this, he's that. Her baby daddy's a stick-up kid. You know what I mean? Like, I breaks the situation down, and the dude is just sitting there, and he's like, damn, you right. Because I know he's one of these dudes that be all hugged up on chicks. Like, bro, you don't even know this chick, bro. And you acting like you in love with her. Man, get out of here. You look silly right now. You look stupid because when something happens to you, you want people to feel bad for you, but you was with a complete stranger. Where were your cronies? Where were the real cronies at to say, nah, bro, we not letting you rock with her? No, all the phonies is like, yeah, bro, get that. And now look at your man's. He done woke up, wallet missing, pants down, butt sore type stuff. These are real stories I've heard from people. It's not funny. It's not funny. I don't laugh at them now because it's never happened to me. But I'm like, bro, I could only imagine getting violated as a grown ass man, thinking that this woman that I was just trying to go be with was trying to have that sort of function take place. And then lo and behold, now look at you. Now look at you. Because you ain't got no cronies, you got all phonies around. And this is all the black in the world. This is because black people don't know how to discern and choose what kind of black, regardless of what black they don't know how to choose who are the good black people from them and who are the not so good black people from them. And know that they're all going to have shady traits and attributes and all that stuff. That's going to happen. But there's more to it than just, oh, they make a lot of money, or they have a PhD. There's way more to it than that. You know. No, JP Hope, I'm not playing. I'm dead. That stuff happens to people, dude. That stuff happens to people. People have been setting up men to get raped for a long time, dude. Long time. Long time. The military is known for it. The military is probably like the cesspool for men raping other men, and then on some level females having something to do with it. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot in the military, especially because they go to foreign countries, and they get all willy-nilly with the local women. And once again, you don't know this chick from Adam, and yet you want to lay up with her like she's your best friend. And it's like, bruh, but yeah, man, that's been a tragedy for such a long time, and most men won't talk about it because it doesn't affect them. It's never affecting anybody that they know. A lot of people don't know nobody who's actually really been molested firsthand. A lot of people, like, they might work with somebody, but they don't actually know that person. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I was in the same house, same room, the same day with but I don't know. Once again, dude that doesn't touch me molest my cousin. Not jealous at all, but I'm just like, how that happens, you don't really know. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, and then, like, once again, the dude who molested him is a black dude. You understand what I'm talking about? Supposed to have been a friend of the family. So it's like, that's that phony stuff I'm talking about. But he was supposed to be. Once again, the most dangerous phony is the one who plays the crony. Okay? There is no phony more dangerous than them. And I can't stress, I'm not going to leave this tandem alone, because it's easy for me to say to you or to anyone else, look out for this kind of person. But there's really no way of telling. There's no way of telling until you get in a position where you can actually gauge someone's character and say, okay, this is who they are. This is really who they are, and this is who they've been their whole life, and they're not gonna change. They're not gonna change for me. They're not gonna change for you. They're not changing for nobody, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like I can accept the person being who they are. You know. All right, hey, bro. Much love, man. Much love, bro. May the Most High be with you guys, bro. You know, have a blessed week, and then take it easy. But yeah, man, this is that this is that crony stuff, bro. That phony stuff, man. People hating on you because you're not them. But who am I once again to tell you who's gonna actually have your back and who's not? Because I'm not in your life. I'm not physically there, so I can't tell you what's gonna happen. All I can say is like, look, dude, uh, watch. You gotta watch people. You gotta watch everybody. You know what I mean? And that's just the only way about it. Like if you just watch everybody, you know, I don't know how they could take it personal. You know, I don't know how they could take it personal. You know, so it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. Uh, but yeah, men are getting set up, man, to be robbed, killed, all kinds of stuff, and it happens, bro. See, like here's the most sad thing. You've probably had more young men get set up and get killed, and the shit look like a home invasion in this last few years than ever. You know, there's a lot of these young ladies, man, who have gotten their husbands killed. You know, because they're sleeping around with somebody at work, and so what they do is I mean, people are wicked, man. Once again, people are wicked. They might plan this shit for a year, so your wife might have you buy some stuff, your girlfriend might have you buy some stuff that's expensive, right? And it'd be something that's easily accessible, you know. Um, God forbid you already live in a place where where it's kind of dangerous, because now what happens is this is you end up you end up in a situation where if somebody were to try you, what I'm saying, your metal, or pretty much try you, uh it's not a surprise because the environment kind of allows that, you know. So it's like you don't want to be in that kind of environment where a woman or a man, a friend or whatever, right, can set you up, you know, to be knocked down like that. I mean, because you would really be surprised how many people out here right now, like when you hear about these home invasions and people getting killed in these home invasions, you would be surprised how many of these people getting killed, like it was their girlfriend or it was their husband or it was the boyfriend or it was the wife, it was something just like that, who actually set it up. And they'll do some shit like have the boyfriend buy a gun maybe a week or 2 weeks before these motherfuckers come in there, and he ain't really all like that. And she's like, yeah, you guys are just gonna break in. I'm gonna be in the bed with him, you know, and uh and uh and I'm telling you, man, these chicks is crazy, man. These chicks, boom, he'll get laid out. They'll have freaking stole the stuff. She'll say that she hid in the bathroom, and they're out of there. And a lot of the time, a lot of those house invasion murders, a lot of that stuff really does go unsolved, y'all. Like, there's a lot of them, that people really, and I'm not trying to get off tandem, but I'm just like really trying to stress the fact that, like, the situations that people will put you in, you know, based on the fact that you think that they're for you and they're really against you, it's truly amazing. You know, um, my homeboy, he's going through, what I went through, years ago, which is which is his child's mother getting with somebody else, getting married to him, getting pregnant, and pretty much somebody thinking that they're over your baby or whatever, right? But it's just like that same mentality is the same mentality of the phony, because they're trying to put you in a position to get you to do something that they know you're not supposed to do. Ain't nobody going to get me to get out of character, you know. And I couldn't tell you what, once again, I can't tell you what possesses a person to do that. Let me show you some pictures, man, of pretty chicks, bro, that get dudes killed all the time. And ain't nobody going to be able to say nothing. All you're going to do is be like, damn, you showed up right. And I'm only going to show like two or three of them, because I'm not trying to make, women feel bad or not like that. But it's just like, these are the kind of chicks who get dudes laid out, you know, kind of dudes. I'm gonna show you a couple of just stereotypical looks of dudes that you just can't, like, you should be weary and leery the moment you see him, and the chicks too, because it's 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 not just who they are, it's what they're doing, you know. Uh yeah, okay. So she's pretty, she's attractive. But you know what though? You only ever seen her at the club. You ain't never seen her at Kmart. You ain't never seen her at the gym. You ain't never seen her at the mall. Nothing. No restaurants, nothing. You only see her clubbing. You know what I mean? So it's like, can't even respect that, man. One moment. Here we go. Let me show you a look of a dude that you. I know y'all probably gonna be like, that's called. I'm telling you, like, I don't trust dudes who look like this right here. I'm saying, whenever dudes shave their face like this on purpose, right on, and do all that on purpose, right? I don't trust that. I don't trust these kind of niggas, right on. I don't ever trust them. I do not trust it. It's not a trustworthy look. One second, hold on, let me pull up. It didn't share, so let me go ahead and share it again. Do this again. Bam. Anybody who wants to shave the sides of their face, bam, bam. Cut their hair, all that stuff. So-called clean cut. I don't fucking trust it. Normally, I treat these dudes like phonies every time. I'll look for the chicks. Give me 1 second. And it's just safer that you do like that. I know you're like, how can you say that about them? I'm like, I don't trust you. Feel me? I'm gonna show you the kind of niggas I don't trust. Who are bearded like myself. You know. Once again, these dudes who go out of the way. 1 second, man. Man, doing way too much. A moment, man. Yeah. Brothers like this right here who go out of the way. Not that that's not a nicely groomed beard or whatever, but he's vain. Can't trust that dude, right on? He'll think because he has his stuff cropped up like that that he's on another level. You're still you're still just a black man to these people, bruh. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're not on another spiritual plane because of none of that. Once again, if this dude grows a head full of hair and shaves his head for whatever reason, I don't trust it. You guys are like, why? Because in the book of the Levites, it tells you that if a person is not naturally bald and they cut their hair, that makes them unclean. Right. Look at these dudes right here. These are aboriginals. These are not our people. These are not your people. Now, if you look like these dudes, these O'Shea Duke Jackson looking ass motherfuckers right here, then yeah, these might be your people. Right on. But these are not my people. You know. And this is what, once again, when somebody who looks like this and somebody who looks like this make babies, they make regular black looking people. Anyway, notice, notice, even these niggas practice a level of vanity. They're aboriginals. And even they practice vanity. Come on, man. But look, not to trust. You can't, I can't stress this to y'all. This is the most deceptive look of the phony. Got a little goatee. Y'all think is clean shaven, cropped up, right? You know, don't let them be like this with the waves on you. Don't let them hit you with the waves too, with the little goatee on you, right? These be the most devilish bastards. Dudes who look just like this. Dudes who try to be just like that. They be so, man, they be so crooked. And they have different kinds of morals. So they don't really align themselves with the level of thoughts that you line yourself with. I got nothing to prove. Nothing to lose. But my soul and my salvation. So, and because my soul doesn't belong to me anyway, you know, looks like all I got to lose is salvation. And since that's not promised, however, my friends, let me just try to find these little pictures real quick of these honeys that will get you in trouble. And I mean, and they'll get you in trouble. There's no like, I don't know why when dudes don't think that these kind of chicks will get you like caught up. So I'm gonna pull up this one, this chick, and then I'm gonna pull up another one, and I'm gonna just show different pictures because different pictures from different picture sets, you know. And dudes be like, oh no, but it's trust me, it's her. You feel me? I know. You know, and it's because number one, they're not really your people sometimes, you know, and then number two, it's a level of how do they identify, you know, like man, you know, I'm gonna put okay, here we go. Like the screen share, I'm gonna do these one at a time. So I'm gonna pull up this one right here first. And ain't none of these really black people to me that I'm about to pull up and show you. You know, won't take it no type of way if you look just like them. I'm just saying that my hair look way different. So unless she put chemicals on her hair don't look nothing like mine. Her hair grows like that normally. Loose ass curls, like one of them aboriginal things. Anyway, this is the kind of chick they get people in trouble right here. Right here. Her, the phony, will get you killed, will get you laid out, will get you caught up, bro. Or violated by the men. Wow. Hold on. Next. This one. These chicks right here are always my favorite kind of chicks for people to get caught up on. Because normally that'd be their natural hair. That's her hair, bro. That's hers. Can you dig it? That's her. That's her crop. So it's like they want the chick with the so-called good hair. That's not my people. But you think she's your people. No offense if you do. And then that's why you get fucked up. Because you're willing to give the benefit of the doubt to a person who is not there. She's not your people. At best, she's a stranger. At best. Once again, I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to tell the truth. And these are the kind of people that'll get you fucked up first. And I'm not a man. I am not a phony. I am most definitely a crony for my people. And the last one, this chick. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see her hair. So notice her hair is straight looking. You know what I'm saying? You know, she probably got a bad little body. She's pretty, as you can see. She's not ugly. But these are the chicks, though. When they be in America with the straight hair, right? Throwing their bodies all around at you, throwing their looks all around at you. You can't get. These are the ones that get us killed. These be the ones. These be the ones that have us looking stupid. Mm-hmm. These be the ones. These be the phonies. Not even really your people. But because we've been told that all of us are the same, we won't even question the merit of their activity. You know, it's crazy. I've never cared for vain people. Period. And I don't cut my hair anymore to get waves. When I was a kid, I could get them pretty easily. But I never really brushed them in. I was just too lazy to brush my hair. I've always been like that. Y'all do know I appreciate y'all, right? This is always an honor and a blessing. Um, I like to do this stuff a little earlier on the Sundays, but then again, I like to kind of rest because I'm coming off of like long weekends normally. Like next weekend, I'll try to as soon as I get home, and it'll be in the morning, so it'll be at AM. It'll be like 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You know what I mean? The latest, 12 Pacific Standard Time because I need to get some rest. When I come off of those long weekends like that. So I'll probably do one in the morning, and and that one right there will just be like a real Sunday night, Sunday morning chat, something like that. I want to really like just break it down and just chop it up. But I really wanted to talk about the cronies and the phonies. That was been on my mind for a minute. And it goes into all the black in the world, no matter how you want to put it. Once again, whether this dude is bearded or not, you know, means nothing. Um, it means something as far as I won't let that dude mate with my sister, you know. But I mean, like, he don't look like me. You're not getting with my sister. Sorry, you know. Like, go ahead and calm all that down. If my sister gets with the dude that doesn't look like me, I'm not claiming that baby. That's not my family. You can say whatever you want to say. That's me. That's who I am. That's who I am. Right on. I'm not the most high. I am not the most high. I am just a regular. I am a man. So my tolerance has limitations. My patience has limitations, and I'm not gonna. No, no, no. Especially when I've already told my sister many times, if you could get with anybody other than with somebody who looks like me, so I don't care. This is one of those things. You had better be willing to speak up to your people. If you love somebody, you had better be willing for them to cut you off. Why do you think there's going to be dissension in the latter days? Love waxing cold because people being honest with each other. If you're not honest with nobody, man, that's not real. That's not real. That's not legitimate. You know, I've always been the kind of person to tell you what you didn't want to hear. Oh, I've been like that my whole life, forever. I didn't even know I was like that at first. You know, people always be like, "Man, you're just so negative." But no, really, I'm just telling you what you don't want to hear. You wanted to hear some fluffy nonsense, and I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not going. I know I'm not going to do that for you. You know, and that's how you got to be with all these cats. You're not going to do that for them. You better not. You better not. That makes you a phony. Once you placate their nonsense on any level, you're fake. That's not loving your people. You understand? That's not love. I'm telling you, it's not love. Oh, I always claim you as my family. And thank you for this, kicking it, watching. I'm a, uh, I'm a regular old knucklehead when it's all said and done. You know, I don't worry about a lot of stuff. I really don't. I stopped worrying years ago. I don't really care about a lot of stuff. Stopped caring years ago. Don't really matter. You just do what you can. You just do what you can do, and don't do anything else. And it should be all right. It should be just fine if you do that. You know, if you try to do something different, then it's not going to be all right. It's not going to be fine. And that's just how it is. You know, that's just how it is. That's just the way that it goes. I enjoy being around. I enjoy being alive enough to to uh to stay my place. You know, I love this kind of stuff. I love the fact that that people think that you need to go to school and that you need to be educated and all that. I love that. Those are my favorite people. Those are the biggest. Those are they are not. I am a crony. You know why I'm a crony? Because I'm the first person to tell you get a business, start your own business if you can. You know, let your family work for you if that's feasible. Help them start their own stuff. Work with them. Build small, tight knit connections. You might not have a whole lot of money, but if you have a good connection with a person, when you need things, normally you can get those things done. You know, but if I'm telling you, oh man, you need to get this job and you need to do this and do this, well, what happens when you get hurt working at that job and you come into some money? Yeah, it might have been my idea to help, to have told you to get the job, but my idea got you hurt. So, you know, you might not feel like you need to really look out for a player, even though I might need you to look out. You see what I'm saying? So I'd rather say something to you like get your own business started while you're still working. Hello, almost lioness. You're funny. I like your name. I like when people just sit back and then just like work up the courage or the nerve or finally get bored enough to say something. However, this is true. You know, you have to align yourself with things that are that are actually working. What up, Andre? What up? Okay, right, right. So here we got another family affair. But so as I was saying, it works like that. You have to do things that work conducively. You have to work in a small unit, and you have to not look for things to be like boisterous, and you have to want people to tell you things that are practical. You know, what's practical is you can start a business in 2 years, not a year from now, right? God willing, the earth is still here, and there's no kind of conflict that would keep that from happening, or there's not an onset of circumstances that would keep that from happening. Or a year from now, I don't know what your finances are, people, but it's just like being practical would not be like you can start a business tomorrow, today, next week, next month. What's practical is to give you time to put together the resources, you know, this, that, the third, so that way it can actually come together. And what I'm getting at is that, like, uh, uh, what's the word? Manifest. Like, like when you start a garden, right? I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever like actually like garden before, but a big part of it is actually just turning the ground. I'll say that's 90% of the effort, is making sure that you turn the ground deep enough and work everything all through and distributed the nutrients throughout the soil, so that way you don't have dilapidations of nutrients throughout the plants. This is why you have people whose gardens, one side of the garden will be plush and the other side won't be, because they didn't spread the soil properly. However, and that's just a matter, and that's a little thing, that's a small thing, to the scope of, but that's 90% of the effort, though. Once again, but that's a little thing compared to the other 10%, which you have to do, day in, day out to maintain it. You know, yeah, yeah. You know, well. Patience is the first thing. Is being able to let things do what they're supposed to do all on their own. Um, and then the second thing is just knowing what to look for. At this stage, it's supposed to bud like this. It should do this. If it's not doing this, the plant has died, or you can reinvigorate life into it by doing these steps. There's a bunch of different little stuff. I'm not going to go into here, but I was just using, you know, the garden as an example. Uh, the turning of the dirt is easily the most important thing. Um, I've literally made patches that were just dirt mud into grass again. You know, so it's just a matter of um of how hard you're willing to work. Um, we had these guys. Like we literally we had to rototill all the way through. Then we had to pull up, the little mesh nets, ripped all that stuff out, rototilled again, watered it, laid the seed down, blah, 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 go through all that, stake it all out, make sure little kids can't run through it, you know. And it takes a little while. And I remember this little guy from the island and this white guy, because it was me and this other brother, right? And it's only because we're black people that they said this crazy stuff to us. So, oh, it'll never work, you know. It'll never work. But however, back to the original message of all this is that you have to build with the skills that you have. You can't look to get new skills out of nowhere. Pretty much is what I'm saying. And that's just another part of being a good crony. You know, if somebody asks you to do something that you can't do, you tell them I can't do that because I don't have that skill set. You know, don't be a phony. Love yourself that much that you can say that I don't have that ability to accomplish that set task. And it's not because I don't want to, it's because I just cannot do that right now at this set point in time. This is why I don't respect people who tell us that, oh, we just have to be amalgamated in to the society. No, we don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to just accept it. I personally will never ever date outside my race ever again. So I can't. I think like the lowest, I'll like, steep to is like a chick who like black dominant mixed, but I don't. But even then, that's wishy washy. You start dealing with people whose heads aren't right. So and I've dealt with a lot of chicks like that, so I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's a crony move to me. That's not a phony move to tell y'all that like that's what I want to do. You know, and to have one of y'all to hold me accountable on that level, where you're like, you said you would do this, so that way I can be like, you're damn right, I said that. So let me go ahead and go back and check myself, because that's what cronies do. It's what friends do. It's what close companions do. It's the problem with a lot of folks, man, is they don't have no etiquette, and they want you to placate them. I was gonna put on blast the NOI when at first I was gonna do them wrong when I was doing this and just run their ass to the mud. But that one picture of Farrakhan was enough to really drive home the fact and the point that these people, who we call our people, are willing to allow a man who is not even their people to rule over them. That says everything about their mentality. It says everything about how they believe. Their motivations are not pure because they seek the approval of a person, once again, who is not even their people. And this man who is not their people seeks the approval of people who have oppressed our people for as long as we don't know how what. But that's how they do it, is they allow for one of the phonies, right? The phony of the most dangerous kind, this guy. Everybody ignore this guy. Please ignore this dude. Please ignore this dude. He's clearly a troll. He's clearly a troll. However, as I was saying, is you have these people who will they will want you to fold for a vagabond at best, you know, a vagrant, a panhandler of the worst kind, a living, breathing, mixed breed thing, as we are all a little mixed, but he's obviously clearly mixed, and a a hamperage to his so-called people. their growth has been limited by the fact that their factions have been splintered with the mindsets, with the tainted resources, and the tainted ideas of said individuals. See, when people read about a guy like Louis Farrakhan, they'll forget about a guy like Elijah Muhammad. And not to knock Elijah Muhammad, but Elijah Muhammad was a man who was a third grade education, who his mind uh, I love it. I love it. What about you guys just giving me a like when you come in here? How about you just give me a thumbs up since you want to come in here and uh, talk about Adolf? What about Adolf Hitler? What about him? What about him? You love me? You love my people? Right. These guys, man. Who's paying these dudes? Who's paying these dudes, y'all? This is crazy. This is crazy. Anyway, appreciate you, Adolf. Anyway, that's what we're talking about. The phoniness of a guy like Farrakhan is not easily overlooked. And if I wanted to compare him, let's say I compared him to Adolf Hitler. Give me one moment. I know. Look. Calm down. Calm down. If you've ever listened to my videos, and if you've ever listened to anything about Adolf Hitler that I've ever said about him, I don't talk bad about Adolf Hitler. I just think that the guy was in the end, he might have lost his mind, you know. But that's only because when you're dealing with demons and fallen angels, that's what can happen. However, that's neither here nor there. That's not the topic of conversation. You want to talk about Adolf Hitler? We'll talk about Adolf Hitler some other time. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. However, I'm talking about the problem with black people. Look, if I wanted to talk about black people and their unwillingness to let go of their love for the only oppress them in such a magnitude and then act as if they've never done anything wrong, I talk about that. But I personally don't care about that because I can't do anything. You know what I care about? I care about the people realizing that they don't have the ability to change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? I don't, what? I said that you called him a saint. First off, you called him a saint, and second off, he's dead now. So some god he is. However, let's not get into talking about once again, if you only knew what I felt about the slavery was a choice. Look, man, we know you've been paid to come in here and act up. Tell your handlers you've done a good job. You've done an excellent job. Tell them you've done a bomb-ass job. I salute you. Now, if you will calm down in my comment section so that way I can carry on about cronies and phonies of my people, maybe, just maybe, I'll get around to the cronies and phonies of the Indo-Europeans in my Operation Longshot. But for the time being, give me one moment that I may do this. No, it's not. It's actually the proper way. This is my right hand, silly, to my eyebrow. Bam. I know what I'm doing. Calm down. Calm down. We don't salute from our chest at all, okay? We don't do that. Yeah, see, right, exactly. You right. Once again, man. Look, y'all. because I'm the crony here of the black man. I'm gonna get back to the topic of conversation, but I'm gonna interweave Adolf here. See, check this out. See, the phony of your people, right, would act as if this guy doing what he's doing is like the worst thing in the world. But he's confirmation that we're doing something right. You see? Because there's live streams that he could go to and actually probably have a conversation about Adolf Hitler that was totally conducive to the man's nature. You see what I'm talking about? If I had to compare the oration of a dude like Louis Farrakhan to Adolf Hitler, there's no comparison. Adolf Hitler blows Louis Farrakhan out the water. The only man I've ever heard speak in this life with more vehemency than Adolf Hitler is Martin Luther King Jr. That's it. I'm talking about like to a group and crowd of people and like move them. Adolf Hitler's beat by Martin Luther King, pimping. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. And I'm not even I'm not a Martin Luther King fan, but that's just yeah. I've heard of Elliot Rodger, but still, nope. Adolf Hitler was he's pretty good orator. I would be a sucker butt to not give him that outright. However, the whole point is this right here, though, is that Hitler is seen as the that's fine. That's fine. And once again, everybody's entitled to their thoughts and beliefs here, big dog. But I'm talking about being a crony. And I'm talking about not being a phony. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about being real to my people and not being fake to my people. You know what's real to my people right now? Is being able to see somebody like you come here while we speak on the subject of phonies and cronies and phonies, and the crony of the so-called opposition shows up. So how am I to be mad at you? Why would I get frustrated with you? My ability to have that much foresight as it happens is that great alone. So why would I even be upset with you? There's nothing to be upset about. You being here is a testament to the entire thing. Once again, all the black in the world has to do with black people first. Because my people don't even know who they are. They don't even know how to discern themselves from another person. And we've been so mixed up and commingled and congealed together as a genus class of black while not being given our proper identities from our proper genus stations that now I have to do things like this. And we have guys like you that come and show up. And once again, but you play the wonderful character that you play. So it's a win for me. It's not a loss. Do you understand, my people? This is why it's important that you are a companion to your folks and you're not fake to your people. You have to love your people. This is why, because there's going to be characters like this who have the ability to not be belligerent. Right on? Station their opinion. And if you lose your cool versus them, then they win no matter what. And I'm not angry at the guy no matter what, but it's just that's how that works. And that's how they knock a crony, a person who's actually for your people, off the ball. And that's how they put the phonies in the place. You know, because when Martin Luther King and all these guys died, there was a vacuum. But who stepped up to be the leaders? No one, because they all were afraid to die. Every last one of them. So when you have these guys who talk about, oh, I'm 57, I'm 58. Well, what did you do that was so great? Other than get women pregnant and have a bunch of babies or wear prophylactics. And for every dude who talks about chicks who has abortions, you're just as bad as the chicks When it's like, bro, like you purposely wear condoms to not, oh, hold on, not for not the disease, but so that way you can't get your girl pregnant. That's wickedness. Right on? That's wickedness. You know, Hitler was a victim. Hitler was a victim. He just so happened to be a victim who had the ability to 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 put his thoughts into planned effort. That's all. If Hitler had succeeded, uh, who knows? Maybe the end would have already happened right now. Maybe the Most High God would have already came and judged the earth. Hitler was this close. We'll never know. We'll never know. We'll never know. And me and Mr. Andre Wickham talk about that period of time very often. So I feel differently about Hitler than most people do. However, as a crony, as a friend of my people, it is not easy being green. You see the ultimate fallout of telling people that people who have been for you or are supposed to be for you have been the worst thing to ever happen is not an easy thing. It's not easy to say to people that the well-intended efforts that were misguided have turned into abominable actions by many people. It's not easy to say that many of us will not get to live to see the turnaround of what is life on earth. It's unfortunate, but it's still been an honor no matter what. It has been a glorious honor to have lived and to have traversed, to have triumphed and failed, and to have succeeded all over again. So, when I say what I say about being a crony or a phony, it's a it's not a fine line. They're very distinct, very distinct. I'm not even worried about what Hitler did with his own physical hands. If you order somebody to do something, the blood is on your hands. That's just how it works. I'm not here to justify Adolf Hitler. I understand you I understand you probably go to a lot of places and they probably talk a lot of shit and they probably can't stand you being there. Me personally, once again, I feel no type of way versus a dude who was killing people that genetically were related to him. I don't know how to feel about it. You know, Indo-European killing another Indo-European is like, uh, yeah, King David didn't kill Urias the Hittite either, but yet the Most High God of everything, if you read the Bible, blames and actually pretty much implicates that David killed Urias. So when you say what you're saying, you once again, I don't have to tread a fine line. There's no need to. But you're treading a fine line there. He did kill those people. Anybody that died, listen, my struggle and the small pieces of it that I've been able to glean over, because I've never read the whole thing, but I actually have read bits and pieces of it. I once again, I would be fake to placate that man. Can you dig it? He killed those people. Under his orders, they died. He killed them. That's how you have to take it, boss. If you're going to speak up for the man, he can't be all righteous and not wrong at all. If King David is the most righteous king to ever live in Israel, and he did something that was wrong, then there's no way that a man who was thousands of years displaced, not an Israelite at all, in fact, hates people who claim to be of of converted descendancy of Israelites. Come on, you think understand what I'm getting at? So I get you, but just follow me, big dog. Being honest, being legitimate is a much more dangerous weapon than being fake and being insincere will ever be. But I don't read the Quran, and nor do I entertain it, because without the Holy Bible, without the Torah or Tanakh, whatever you want to call it, the Quran wouldn't exist. So, not to get silly, but the Quran is just another, once again, it's watered down Bible. Twist here, twist there. However, that's not to be crazy about it. Yeah, that's right. We shall get back to the topic of cronies and phonies. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for. Thank you, sister. I'm. Here we go. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. So, where was I? Being honest, being legit, right? Something like that. Being sincere. You see, the biggest problem with people is that their sensibility is totally, totally, totally messed up. See what I'm saying? Have none. Totally intact with my sensibility. See, I'm so sensible that sometimes I do things so that way people understand what it is that they're actually dealing with. Because you might not know what you're dealing with because you don't get it. I love it. Appreciate you, Adolf. You're a funny guy. But this is just part of that struggle, y'all. You can't be mad at that at what somebody thinks is different. It's all right. We're in an environment now for that to happen and take place. And the best thing I can do for us as a people is to speak on the things that are true, that are that are stable. We've not only given ourselves into things that are illegitimate, but things that don't even matter. I had a man say, to seek out a way, to seek out an existence that was somehow above or superior to just struggling to get by, was somehow wrong. And then in the same breath, not in the same time, but in the out of the same mouth, the same breaths, this man would say something like, "Those who are making 75K or better a year have felt the blessings of the Most High and should know how blessed they truly are." And it's like for a person to tell you that it's okay for the wicked devil to pay you as much money as he'd like, but for you to go and to seek to earn your own for the cause and reasonings, so that way the wicked devil can't just take it all from you. And if he does take it all from you, then he's then done another bidding of unrighteousness, because whatever you sign on for, that's how it goes. So if you sign on to be a contractor and you get a prevailing wage and you're making $37 an hour, you're making $50 an hour, you know, and then all of a sudden somebody violates two of the clauses for the prevailing wage to take place. Now there's no more prevailing wage. Well, who do you hold accountable? You know what I'm saying, do you get mad at yourself for believing in the system, or do you get mad at the person who ruined it for everybody? Because it doesn't take you to ruin it for yourself if you're within the system of someone else. But let's say you're just a man who you can only afford to do so much construction at a time. You can only afford to do so many jobs at a time. So all the money that you make, you will make the money. It's only you understand the rules. You understand that you can't jeopardize your income and your ability to have income. There's just a difference. Once again, because I'm your ally, your friend, it's not fair, once again, for me to tell you to have nothing while I have something. And I don't have anything. I don't trust me, I don't have much. But if I was making that kind of money, 75,000 a year, 80,000 a year, 100K a year, the last thing I would tell you is that you should be willing to suffer while I'm not suffering. That's the it's the craziest thing I ever heard. That's not a crony, that's a phony, people. Because if I love you, I want to see you doing good too. And it's not my place to say what you should or shouldn't have. Because unless you were there for every action of your ancestors who acted against the Most High when they did, who are they to place themselves in a place where they now supersede judgment and they now no longer merit judgment? All right, it doesn't make any sense. I want you to judge me. It's okay. I look forward to it. The Most High is going to judge me anyway. So, who are you? Who are you? What is your judgment? Nothing. You will have a heaven or hell to put me in. Judge away. And since I don't got one to put you in, I think I'm going to do the same thing. Cronies and Fonies, people, you better know the difference between who is for you and who is against you. Most of the people who are for you look like you. Some of them look kind of like you, meaning they have similar skin tone, but they might not have all the same features. Some of them don't look nothing like you. Some of the people, once again, who are totally against you, most of them look just like you. Wow. How does that work? Right. And guess what? And guess what? They want to see you go down. They want to see you freaking eat dirt because it makes them feel good. Because at the end of the day, the people outside of them who are most dangerous are then once again the people who kind of look like you but don't exactly look like you. And then outside of them are the people who don't look nothing like you. But you already know that the last group hates you. So it's not really a big deal. The last group already hates you. It's not really a big deal. It doesn't really change anything. Let me end on this one. So get ready to eat my watermelon Jolly Rancher. Yep, the wheat and the tares, sister. Wheat and the tares. Just like my man's here, Adolf Hitler, right? Who are we to say who's good or who's bad? Yeah, but the first of your enemies are people who look just like you, sister. Your worst enemies look just like you. You know what I mean? Your worst enemies look just like you because anybody who doesn't look just like you, well, why are you surprised that they tried to do you wrong? You know, I I don't know. I just think that we've we've come so far as a people. One second. No. We've come far enough as a people to accept a few things, but some of the things we just don't want to accept. Certain things we just don't want to accept. And I get frustrated because I'm like, when is that going to be over? Like, when are black people going to say, okay, you know what? Um, we are our worst enemies. Worst, worst. And the reason why there's people who are considered the stranger who are going to become higher up above is because as a person who was not even the people or was a watered down version of the people, they loved you more than you loved yourself. That's why. They love the most highest people maybe more than they even love their own self. And that's deep. And that's a crony. Urias the Kittite. My mother sucking hitter. That's my dude. There's no way that guy doesn't get raised up higher in the house, bro. As the stranger amongst Israel, bro. There's no way. Even if he was a Kittite whose wife was an Israelite, and people were like, you know, and this was why, once again, I talked about it way earlier. That's what I was going to get at, which is the problem, which is why the Most High was like, he told Joshua and them. This, well, I mean, the people disobeyed on so many levels. They didn't kill all the people in the land. When they didn't do that, they did not blood mix, so they blood mixed with the people in the land. So where Urias would have never been married to Beersheba had the had the conditions been right and had they done what they were supposed to do, that's not what happened. You see what I'm saying? As a Kittite, he ended up being able to marry a woman that realistically should have been available to the king. But that's not how it happened. You see what I'm saying? And David broke the rules of not only, holy matrimony, but he broke the rules of being a stalwart man, being a just man. You know, he He literally made it to where all in one hit. Once again, y'all gotta understand how adultery caused the kingdom of Israel to fall to his face. Through David's actions is Solomon born. Through Solomon's actions is Jeroboam brought up to reign over the kingdom of Israel. All this stuff is really, one big uh, happening. Uh, a lot of people don't want to hear this. It's not conducive to what they believe. They've been being told lies their whole life. And to have a guy who looks least likely to be, I'm the least likely candidate for a lot of things. I know this, you know, I'm aware of this. But that's why I have to tell you about Uriah the Hittite. That's why I started it with that. That's why I'm ending it on that note. So you guys know I'm getting ready to be done in a second. What happened to that man was tragedy. And man, my soul goes out to his soul thousands of years later. You guys have no idea. He was a crony. He was a crony. All the way to his last moments. He was such a crony that the letter that got him killed, he delivered to the man that delivered him up to death. It's horrendously sad. And yet, people will overlook and make little or make small the situation of Uriah the Hittite, and they will extol King Solomon to the clouds, not realizing that his mother was the wife of another man, not even acknowledging it, not even bringing that to the forefront to say honestly that this is what it is. And then they wonder why a guy like me is just totally bent out of shape. Because King David not being held accountable on the level that should have been totally spoke on. But what good is it didn't matter though. All the repenting, all that. Once again, just King David's just lucky I wasn't the captain of his host. That's all. That's all. The Bible would be written a lot differently. It's probably why I wasn't around back then. You guys have no idea like how dedicated I am to certain stuff. There's certain things I just won't let happen. Again, I can't put it in words how disappointing that is. I love King David, but I'm very critical of King David. And Solomon, I don't feel any way for. I cannot stand his son Solomon. And I love his son Absalom. I love him. I hate Joab. Now you gotta be like, why is this important? Because as a person who says that he's a friend of you, I want you to know where I stand in the scripture. I I abhor King Solomon. The Most High didn't speak so highly of King David, I wouldn't even care about King David. Right? You have no idea. That's a let down on levels. It's pretty much like reading about the best person that like could have done something for your people, pretty much squander it for a woman. And people still don't even look at how the implications of sex are once again, this is a king. He ruined the kingdom for a woman. It is what it is, sister. It is what it is. Y'all can call him whatever you want to call him. Dawood, Daweed. I do not care. It changes nothing that he's done. It changes nothing. And tell me I'm lying. That's why I'm the way that I am. It's because of things like this. I don't accuse anyone of anything. But as I get ready to leave, I actually end on this note. Much different. Much different. Septuagint, Genesis chapter 3. Verse 24, going down into chapter 4. So the Lord God sent him forth out of the garden of delight to cultivate the ground out of which he was taken. And he cast out Adam and caused him to dwell over against the garden of delight. He stationed the cherubs and the fiery sword that turns about to keep the way of the tree of life. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and brought forth Cain, and said, I have gained a man through God. Stop. We're going to go forward. Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the genealogy of men. This is the book of generation. In the day which God made Adam, in the image of God he made him, male and female he made them, and blessed them, and called his name Adam in the day which he made them. And Adam lived 230 years and begot a son after his own form, after his own image, and called his name Seth. Now, here is where things get deep. And this is where I get ready to leave y'all just to I'm about to mess your whole heads up. Did it say how old Adam was when Cain and Abel were born? Nope. Doesn't say that. You know what it says though? It says that he was 230 when Seth was born. Now I know you guys are thinking like, what's that got to do with anything? Well, how old was Adam when Cain and Abel were born? Stop before you try to say anything. Stop. All the days of Adam's life in which he lived were 930 years and he died. So listen, he lived to be 930. Okay? That's from the time he had Cain and Abel till he died. He was 930. Here's the question. How old was Adam when he bore Cain and Abel? And the reason why that's so important is because, well, if Adam got kicked out of the garden and he knew his wife, like I just read to you, and she bore Cain, that happened as soon as he got kicked out of there. So here's the question, though: is how many years between the birth of Cain and Seth? Well, if you've been listening, 230 years. So that means that Adam and Cain are only a year apart in actual definitive age, if that. They're a gestation period apart in age. Adam was made to live forever. Remember this. He didn't start, the clock of death didn't kick in on him until he ate from the from the from the uh from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. With that said, I just want you guys to think about that all week. Really think about that. And I will stress it to you one more time. If Adam was 230 years old when he begot Seth, right? And it says right here in chapter 3, or coming to the end of it at the very beginning of chapter 4, verse 1, and Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and brought forth Cain, and said, I have gained a man through God, right? What does that mean to y'all? That means that as soon as he was kicked out of the garden, he went and had sex with this woman. He wasn't a year old when that happened, right? What I'm trying to say to y'all is that even he had a man's body, but in physical age, he was maybe only a year older than his son Cain. I love you guys. You guys take it easy. Think about it.